Can I beat Fallout New Vegas as Jason Voorhees? So here's my build. Strength 10, Endurance 8, Luck 9, Charisma 1, everything else 4. The skills I tagged were Medicine, Melee Weapons, and Sneak. And I only chose one trait, Heavy-Handed. The first thing that I need to do after leaving Doc Mitchell's house is to get a mask, obviously. There's one near the Mesquite Mountains, so that's where I'm headed. And until I get it, I have to avoid combat, which is easy, cause I only have to stick to the main road. So here are some rules for this run. 1. I have to wear a hockey mask at all times. If I don't have one, or if it breaks, I have to get another one. I cannot progress quests or engage in combat without one. 2. Jason Voorhees used a lot more weapons than just his iconic machete, so I can use all melee weapons and my bare hands. But his weapon is iconic for a reason, and therefore I will try to stick only to machete variants. I'm not planning on using explosives or throwable weapons, but if I need to for non-combat reasons, I can. This will make me use the broad machete from Courier Stash for the majority of the challenge. And the way I see it, Jason has a preferred weapon, and that should play a role throughout the challenge. 3. I have to do the whole challenge in very hard, but since I'm not gonna do a speech build on a Yes Man run, I will give myself the option to lower the difficulty, but only in the final boss fight, and only if I need to. 4. I'm not putting any item restrictions on this one. I can use cams, stimpaks, hard stuff to sell, etc. Cause it's still New Vegas on very hard. However, this is mostly because of the 2000 cap check to enter the strip and some skill checks. Also, the idea of Jason Voorhees having a stealth boy is hilarious to me. And 5. I have to become idolized by the faction I ally myself with. Now, when I was planning the run, I wanted to wear a trench coat, but that item is inaccessible. The trench coat I'm talking about, it's just a weak variant of the Mysterious Stranger's outfit, but it would fit Jason so well. Unfortunately, and although one NPC wears it, it will not drop and it will not appear on the Pip-Boy, and I would rather not mess with the console too much, so I can prevent crashes that are because of my actions. Don't worry though, it's New Vegas, so we'll get plenty of crashes. Now I might as well get the Nipton map marker, cause I want my fit to be ready before doing quests and getting into Jason things. So I'm gonna go into Prim's sheriff's office to get the duster. It's not a trench coat, but it will have to do. Gear's ready, I'm playing on very hard difficulty, it's time. So I'm gonna go ahead and meet Vulpes. He just committed atrocities. I'm playing as an iconic antagonist. This just writes itself out, so I command his actions. My man then decides to answer me as if he was on his peak teenage years of being the quiet kid. I don't know if he's gonna show me his gun collection or write me a grim poem, but damn, he thinks he's cool when talking about himself. I'm gonna go get the Wolfhorn Ranch map marker, cause that's close to where I'll need to go, but first, Vulpes asked me to spread the word, and if I'm gonna have to be idolized by someone, might as well be the douches that are into my hobbies. So I pay Sergeant Kilborn a visit at the Mojave outpost, let him know that they're pussies, and move on back to Wolfhorn Ranch. I can level up, so I'm gonna put all the points into melee weapons. As for the perk, I'm gonna go with Confirmed Bachelor, cause that's an extra 10% damage in combat against men. Malcolm Holmes decides to try and scare Jason, creeping the shit out of me in the process. I wasn't expecting him, and certainly not this close. Guess he's into the other part of the Confirmed Bachelor perk. This, however, is a perfect opportunity to do some Jason things and try out my broad machete. He's now headless. I got me 6-star bottle caps, and it's time to pay Camp Searchlight a visit. I'm gonna be returning here very, very soon. But I gotta go to Cottonwood Cove now. Instead of hugging some ghouls, I go the long way around, visiting Sniper's Nest and appreciating the view. Heading down, we see Anders, who's having a shit day. So I discover Cottonwood Cove, tell the Legion Explorer I'm a friend, and he's like, oh cool, by the way, have you seen the crosses? Time to go back to Camp Searchlight and have a chat with First Sergeant Astor. He wants me to plant a bug on the Legion's radio and to get some plans. Well, instead I'm gonna go and meet Aurelius of Phoenix. He gives me some fake info to deliver to Astor, so let's do exactly that. Astor then tells me it's almost too good to be true, and that's because it is. That's what the NCR gets for being too trusting. I'm gonna go back to Good Springs and heading north through Deathclaw Valley until I get to the Gun Runners. And that's because it's time for me to sell everything I don't need until I have 2,000 caps. For the security check, that'll come in a bit. The Vendortron didn't have enough money, so I went to Shay. And then to Ralph from Meek and Ralph's. We're now Vegas rich, baby. Going outside, a thug that has a weird taste in glasses thought he could rob me. He met the machete. I then saw a guy trying to outrun Securitrons. He made it though, but he stopped and let them kill him. This part of town isn't just poor, it's also filled with stupid. So I go into the tops. The Greater babysits everything I have. Well, everything he doesn't want me to have in their casino. And it's time to meet Benny. Benny, of course, insults me as I'm waiting for my newly received experience to give me a couple levels. I distribute the points from those 2 levels into melee weapons and medicine, cause I do love my stim packs not to be useless. He then acts shocked, even though we have already seen each other and spoke. Well, he insulted me, but still my point stands. He offers me the presidential suite. I go in, he thinks he's smart, it's a trap, and he has just made the worst mistake of his life. Cause now instead of a quick death, he'll have a much worse fate. I don't have to kill anyone though. I can just run. They chase me, but only through the casino. Once I'm out the door, they don't care. Vulpes though, he decided to suit up just so he could tell me that a bald guy admires me so much that he has sent me jewelry. Lacalas invites me for a boat ride. That'll take hours. So now I'm thinking that maybe I should have gone with the faction that has a whole train. Anyways, I get to the fort and the main gate guard tells me it's his lifelong dream to babysit my weapons, to each their own, I guess. I go into Kaiser's tent. Yes, this guy lives in a tent. Wants a war with people that lives in buildings and have trains, and he has tents and boats. No wonder the slaves are telling stories about the burned man again. But look over here. Who do we have waiting for us? Benny! He can't talk though. So let's meet the baldy that's sending gifts. He wants me to take the platinum chip and investigate the vault beneath the fort. And encourage me to talk to Benny now. So I ask Benny, are you into crosses? And then I talk with Vulpes because he's gonna have a quest for me. I then meet Melody, but I don't have enough speech to get her to talk. Nothing that a couple levels and a magazine won't solve later though. I also met Siri. Hey Siri, tell me a story about the burned man. Now, this genius has been using 2 Xander roots instead of 1 for the healing powder, so I tell her the true recipe. She then reminds me that she's a slave, not a merchant, so I'd like to take my sarcastic insult back. I then remembered that the reason I can't find Lucius is because he likes to sit near Kaiser's bed. He wants me to go to Boomer territory, so I'm gonna wait until Kaiser asks me to go over so I can do the 2 things at the same time. This means it's time to investigate the vault. My weapons have been returned to me. I meet Mr. House, who can't believe that I'm not willing to help him, so I just keep pouring salt into his egotistical wounds. I destroy a Protectron, but I then get destroyed by a turret as I'm making a run for it. Couple steam packs, running like hell, that worked wonders, and my reward is a handful of Protectrons coming after me. Except they're just Protectrons, so it's not even worth a sweat. I take care of them, realize that the machete is not gonna make the generators blow up, and immediately became so happy that I didn't sell everything I have that I wouldn't think I'd have to use, because the throwable weapons from Courier's stash did the job. 2 generators later, and I now have to run back to the sound of lasers and an annoying alarm. I nearly interrupted a sentry bot meeting, but I managed to go back. If this guy knew what I saw, we'd be having this conversation outside. Going back to Kaiser, he tells me I can choose Benny's fate. Now, as Jason, I wanted to machete him, but Benny being Benny, I think he'll look much fancier in a cross. The man shot me in the head, dug me a grave, and buried me. I think he deserves a timeout to think on what he did instead of just getting it over with. Kaiser then tells me to deal with Mr. House, but first I'm gonna take care of some side quests. I go to the Followers of the Apocalypse, buy some Steam packs, and I'm off to the Vault 21 gift shop. In the vault, some Omerta thugs are paying a visit to Martina. I take care of them and realize that Martina thinks she's helping the NCR, but she's not. She's helping a Legion spy. I go back to the fort and see Benny near the fort's entrance. Remember Good Springs, Mr. Arrogance? Let's have him go back to his new hobby though. I go to Vulpes and he has me travel all the way to Camp McCarran. Let's go meet our spy. I take care of the guy in the entrance so I can have his outfit. The game usually crashes a lot for me here, and I didn't know if I'd have to use console commands to get into the building. Well, my feeling was correct because a crash fest ensued. The door to the terminal building crashed, so I teleported myself to the station that the NCR have in the strip and took the monorail into the terminal building. If I didn't have this outfit, they'd shoot me. But it's time to meet our Legion boy, Captain Ronald Curtis. He wants to celebrate the 4th of July in true Legion fashion, so it's time to pay Colonel James Shue a visit. Yes, I'm just saying it as Shue, because it's how he says it. To me, it sounds like a Sue, but who am I? I don't know. I can only use the pronunciation they give me, you know. Anyways, I offer myself to help with the investigation, and he just says, yeah, go on ahead. I don't know you, so you're the ideal person to do this. NCR is doing it again. A map marker would have helped, but I managed to find Private Cranshaw's footlocker. The condemning evidence was planted, he was executed, and the game crashed. Then it crashed again, so I teleported to the station, watched the monorail explode, and it crashed once again. Might as well take a closer look to the explosion. I then teleported to the concourse, and it crashed again. I'm now locked out of the building I need to get into. Great! The game then decides to stuck me in a never-ending loading screen. Fortunately, all you have to do when this happens is to start a new game and load your save from there. It has always worked for me. But how am I gonna get into the terminal building, you ask? Easy! I'm gonna kill Private Christina Morales through console commands. I know that her animations sometimes bug out and it causes issues. Don't ask me details. I don't even know why this worked, but it worked. So I go back to Colonel Shue and tell him the news. Monorail's gone, Cranshaw did it, and he's a sucker. Captain Curtis is happy, I go back out, I try to see if the door outside is still bugged since I killed Christina, and it is. Perfect, because now I truly have no clue what other thing is making this area a crash fest. Now let's go and pay Mr. House a visit. I'm sure he'd be delighted to see me after our previous interaction. Yep, I knew it. Let's actually get to the elevator at this time. In retrospect, I should have gone and got more Steam packs, because I don't have nearly enough health or healing items to pull this one off. Oh, but don't you worry, because I will pull it off. Because I'm the king of New Vegas, baby! So, into the control room we go. I'm gonna unseal his chamber and introduce him to my little friend, the broad machete. I have no interest in hearing a toilet paperless mummy out, but the level up, no, that's appreciated. Just gonna dump my skill points into speech, and I'm gonna take the first toughness perk. There were some magazines in the Vegas Strip, and one of them was exactly what I needed to pay Melody a visit. She wants her teddy back. Let's get her teddy back. Anthony's genius asks me if I'm willing to off his doggos for it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna play my reputation card, and he's gonna give me the bear. I then get back to Melody and through the miracle of division, give her 2 teddy bears. Kaiser's happy too. He finally wants me to go meet the boomers and get them as allies. Or to destroy them. I went to Mick from Mick and Ralph's to repair my sheriff's duster, but I forgot that the best he could do was to repair my hockey mask. Fine, I'll wear something else. That lightweight armor from the courier stash will have to do. Approaching boomer territory, a boomer that's not part of the boomers wants to make a bet. Okay, double my money, pal. Now, the boomers gave me such a warm welcome that I decided to repay their kindness with the same energy. So I've stolen the replacement firing mechanism for the Legion's howitzer, I killed Loyal, I killed Pearl, and went back to Sniper's Nest. The timing was amazing because a disguised Frumentarius told me that I now have access to the Legion drop boxes. They're basically freebies that respawn really close to Sniper's Nest. Timing aside, I'll still go over there later. For now, what I want is to get to Nelson. Ranger Milo asks me to kill his troops, but I'm not his errand boy, so the hostages will keep their status. That's his irony backfires on him, because when he challenged me to attack Camp Forlorn Hope, I'm just reminded that I can have a good time. With the map marker on my map and the quest on my log, I was curious to go see the drop box's loot. It was okay. Let's do some magic on Camp Forlorn Hope, because Dead Sea will reward us with his machete. A unique item called the Liberator. Yeah, it's no super sledge, but it's better than my machete, so I'll take it gladly. Quartermaster Mace was by himself on a tent, so he's a goner. I sneaked into their medical tent to take care of Dr. Richards, and when I got out, I realized that no one in this camp cared about those two. In the command center, I'll have another 2 officials to take care, but if the other ones are gonna be shooting at me, I'll just deal with them too. Tech Sergeant Reyes leaves, I destroy everyone including Major Pilatli, and I'm now in a pickle. She left, and I don't want to mess with the power armor guy outside. But when she left, I became the only person on the command center, meaning I'm not in combat anymore. I can just wait. And by doing so, she remembers that she's supposed to be in this building, so she comes back and I finish the job. Now, I just gotta run like hell back to Nelson. That sea gives me his unique machete, and I'm now liked by the Legion. Let's install the replacement parts on the howitzer and go meet with Lucius and Kaiser. Lucius happy. I'm liked, so he gave me the safe house key. I level up, put melee weapons up to 100, and give the news to Kaiser that the boomers are a bit dead. He then asks me to extend an allegiance invitation to the White Glove Society and proceeds to do some ASMR. As I leave the tent, I'm now reminded that the NCR is very pissed off with me, which is quite understandable. This made me change my plan a bit, so allow me to be a bit more strategic from now on. I'm gonna go meet Veronica and ask her to come with me. We travel to the Legion's safe house, where I want to speak with veteran Atticus. He's gonna be extremely useful, cause every couple days he'll come here and gift us some items of our choosing. One of the options is 2 stealth boys, and that's gonna be extremely helpful. I'm not sure if I'll need them right now, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, and you'll see why. So I get the stealth boys, and me and Veronica head to Hidden Valley. I'm gonna pay the Brotherhood a visit. So in New Vegas, an item's weight is related to pickpocketing chances. So I don't think I'll need the stealth boys for what I'm about to do. That's right, I'm gonna pickpocket Head Scribe Taggart, Head Paladin Harden, and Elder McNamara. With their 3 keycards, I can generate a self-destruct code and brighten up their stay. I make good use of a stealth boy and get the hell out of here, cause obviously they're mad. How do you think Veronica will react? Guns blazing? Nah, she just leaves and says that if we want to fight the Brotherhood, to put her name on our list. Girl, I just got you promoted, and that's how you're a baby, Elder Veronica. Anyway, let's meet the White Glove Society, and oh, there's a fountain party. Heading on in, we discover that Marjorie isn't happy with my proposal. Mortimer is though. Anyways, I would rather show them how a slasher icon acts instead of helping them out, so that's exactly what I do. Kaiser didn't enjoy it, but that's his loss, not mine. He then proceeds to do some more ASMR. Fun fact, if you interrupt his sleep, he tells everyone in the Legion to kill you, so let's not do that again. I waited a day, went back in, informed him about what happened to the Brotherhood, and I can level up once again. I put the skill points into medicine and went with the Bloody Mass perk for the 5% extra damage. He promoted me to his personal physician, and I didn't remember the skill checks for this one. Mentats, a magazine, the perk that gets you double the magazine's temporary skill increase, and I'd be able to. Unfortunately, my previous save was too long ago for that. Guess I'll have to go into a ghoul-infested vault. Great! I managed to avoid the huge group of golden geckos at the entrance by climbing a mountain instead of going around it. Then I ran like hell, got what I needed, and ran like hell again. This was way too close, and I can barely believe I did it without having to go back to get more steam packs. But it all worked out. Back at the fort, Kaiser's playing Sleeping Beauty, or so Lucius tells me. I install the part in the Autodock, have it do its thing, and Baldy awakens, feeling well rested. I'm now tasked with doing a weapon showcase to the NCR's president, Kimball. Cato Hostilius will have the plan, so let's meet him. He gives me an NCR armor, so I can disguise myself, which means that I Jasoned a man in Boulder City for nothing. Sucks to be him, I guess. I then meet Cato in Hoover Dam, watch the helicopter come down, and it's showtime. Now, this is going to be hard, but I came prepared. After a couple tries, I managed to do it, but all I have left is 5% health. So I pop in another stealth boy, GTFO, level up, put the points into medicine, travel to the fort, and they attack me on sight. Why, you ask? Faction armor! I forgot to change my attire. Anyways, Kaiser's pleased. Atticus gives me more stealth boys. I buy a lot of stimpaks. And it's truly showtime. The second battle of Hoover Dam. That's right, Kaiser sent me to meet Legate Lanius so we can do what Joshua Graham couldn't. I am now idolized, I can level up once again, I dump the points into medicine, and I go with the Fight the Power perk, as that's a 2 more damage threshold than I have against the NCR. Well, against factions, but you know. At this point, it's only gonna affect the NCR. The 5% crit is nice too, but it doesn't really play to my build. Now, the eastern part of the dam was extremely easy as me and the Legion melted the NCR's defense. I then meet with a veteran at a checkpoint, and he tells me that the eastern part of the dam has some snipers and hostages. That if I free them, they'll help me. and I will want to help, so let's go through with it. I took care of the snipers first, obviously. In the intake tower, all I had to do was go through a terminal to unlock a maintenance hatch, and now I have a Centurion and a couple bros to help me out. I made sure to deal with every single NCR over here, because they had stim packs on them. Into the visitor center we go. I managed to avoid the guys in power armor as I made the run for the elevator. And then I just kept on running, because there's nothing for me in the first 3 areas of this map. As a farewell gift, I helped the Legion take care of nearly everyone in the 4th area, including a guy in power armor. He had a super sledge, but it was broken. The compound is gonna be brutal, so I really wanted that sledge, man. I repaired my Liberator with a machete, and would have loved to repair my super sledge with a sledgehammer, but it is what it is. And it's now time to say hi to General Lee Oliver. After talking a big talk, he runs away, and I deal with his soldiers. This is the easy part. Everything else from here on until the ending will not be a good time in this difficulty. After finishing them off, I spent way too many tries on this second level. Especially because my recording software decided to only capture the audio, so I had to redo this whole part. And here's the thing, there's way too many traps. I do not deal nearly enough damage. Things are going wrong at the very end of the run. But a couple deaths, including one that made the mines disappear after dying from them and me not realizing it made me waste a grenade that I wasn't even planning on using. So, with the way clear and without having taken care of the enemies on this floor, I just quote-unquote sneak past them and go upstairs to face General Lee Oliver and end him. I tried to pick on a single NCR heavy trooper, and that's when it hit me. This is not as doable as I expected. Not on very hard. But I will not lower the difficulty without killing the general, even if the heavy troopers take me out right after. At this point, I'm just doing this bit for myself because it was a sad realization to see. I'll have to lower the difficulty. If I don't want to spend the next week grinding for this video, that is. So yeah, Oliver can easily die, even with his personal guard around him, so I can at least feel vindicated. I'm gonna reload, lower the difficulty, and in true Jason Voorhees fashion, I'm just gonna use whatever melee weapons fit my goal. So here's the new plan. Find one NCR heavy trooper that's by themselves, destroy it with my unique machete, take his super sledge, and go on about my day. The difference in damage dealt is ridiculous now. But if I can't have the bragging rights of doing a machete-only run in very hard, I don't care about doing it in hard, honestly. Since I reloaded the game gifted me with a new minefield. My deactivation tactics weren't exactly the healthiest option, but they got the job done. All that's left is to gift the 2 remaining NCR Rangers with a good whack. And going back to Legate Linnaeus, he says that he's very pleased with Jason Voorhees, and it's done. Can I beat New Vegas as Jason Voorhees? Yes, I can. And if I had sided with Yes Man and did a speech build, I could have beat it on very hard too. But I figured this would be more enjoyable. A courier that becomes a Jason Voorhees wannabe after a head injury and joins the Legion. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Kyan, and I hope you have a good one. Bye!